I'm Jem.
And I'm Victoria.
And this is
The
Crimbly Bimbly
Crack.
Crack.
There we go. She added a spin to that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, the beatboxing I've still not shared.
The
but
remix. Oh, I tried to roll my R. My R. Oh, that was quite good.
You should be Scottish then, because we roll our R's.
When I moved from, when I lived up here the first time and I moved over to Germany, everyone thought I was Scottish. Like when I first came to Scotland, I spoke with a little, because I was born in Devon, so I spoke with a Wurzel accent. And then when I moved to Germany, everyone just assumed I was Scottish because I sounded so Scottish. But I don't remember sounding Scottish.
I think maybe they just never met a Scottish person before.
Maybe that's what it was. But yeah, then I sort of moved around, and I don't think I've got an accent of anything now, have I? I've just...
Oh, you've very definitely got an English accent.
Well, yeah, but just bog standard English.
Depends what words you're saying, I think.
What's the word I'm looking at? I can't even think right now.
Peculiar.
Like, no geographic accent. That's not right. You know what I mean?
Area specific.
No, that's not the word I was looking for, but let's go with it.
But it means what you're talking about.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Okay, so what have you been up to this week?
I don't know. I went out for a lovely, lovely Sunday dinner.
Did
That
you?
was absolutely amazing. That was a gift from my lovely friend.
That's me.
It was you.
Yeah, it was really nice, wasn't it?
I had a not good margarita, though.
That margarita was bogging.
Yeah.
Oh, it was bogging, pal.
That was bogging. I know a nice margarita, and that wasn't one, I'm sorry to say. But the espresso martini that followed was very, very nice.
Why are you sorry to say? I notice people, and I do it as well, but apologise for everything. You don't need to apologise for that.
I won't name the place, so it doesn't really matter. She's
I was
name
gonna.
it.
Put that cup down. Sorry, Victoria is not allowed to drink. Well, we don't drink on microphone.
On air.
On air, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because I edit it and it drives me bonkers. So I have misophonia and noises really bug me.
And if looks could kill right now.
Yup.
Oh, and I went to a charity shop this week.
Tell me.
I spotted something which was the most amazing, just the biggest hat in all of the land, and I tried it on and it was awesome, and I convinced myself that I didn't need this hat, and so I left without it, and then I just couldn't stop thinking about it and I had regrets, and my lovely friend went back and fetched it for me, and so when she turned up on Sunday, she had the enormous hat.
But what is weird about the enormous hat is that the actual bit that you put on your head is not that big.
No, it's just the brim, isn't it? The brim is like it's actually, I think it's probably a little bit more than a foot. So what's that, like 3 foot circumference maybe? It's huge.
It's not 3 feet wide. It isn't. But you can't... I went and got it, and when I tried it on in the house, I couldn't go from one room to the other because I couldn't fit through the doors.
No. And I'm just thinking it's bigger than a manhole.
How many holes of men have you seen?
Oh, gross.
Anywho...
What have you been up to?
I also went out for dinner, and it was yummy.
What a coincidence.
I know, a coinky dink. And
what
else
did you have
I
to
done?
drink? What beverage were you on?
Oh, I had a French martini.
Very sophisticated.
Very. And then I had a Drambuie liqueur coffee.
So is Drambuie just a whiskey liqueur?
It's a
'Cause I was
whiskey
thinking it was
liqueur.
orange, and that was gross. But that's
Cointreau.
I'm thinking of Grand Marnier. I think,
Oh,
is
yeah.
another one. Yeah. So Drambuie is a whiskey coffee.
A whiskey liqueur. Yep.
Coffee.
So
that
I had
sounds quite nice.
that, and what else have I done?
We did have food as well. We were saying about all these drinks.
We did. Well, we both had the same.
Yeah, we did.
You had your steak medium rare, and I had mine blue. Mm-hmm. And the chips were bonkers.
They were huge.
They were, and I've decided, I think I'm a fries person. That's a lot of effort to chew through that.
There was too much potato for me in one sitting.
Potato?
But I did potato. But I was impressed by the size. And I wonder where they got those mutant potatoes, because they were so big.
Yeah, they were pretty big. And on
That's
the
what she
subject of potatoes, my washing basket ones have got big leafy bits on them now.
Ooh.
And I'm quite excited by them.
That's really good. And so you have to wait for them to flower, and then the flowers die, and that means your potatoes are ready.
That's amazing. Every food should have a system like that.
Yeah.
Is that ready to eat? There's a tulip on the top.
No,
Eat
it's not
it.
ready to eat. Wait until that tulip dies. Then
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
sorry.
scoff away. But the potato flowers are actually quite pretty, I think, in my opinion. But then I'm a fan of dandelions. I love them.
Wet the bedders.
I just think they're pretty. I love seeing a bee on a dandelion.
You love seeing a bee, full stop.
I do. I love
What else have I
bees.
done? Well, I've been working a lot again, and I was away on Friday night for work, and I saw squidgels. They were so cute. So I took
Those are squirrels for the rest of you.
squidgels. I took scallops with me to do the. So this is a
I
recipe
love
that
shellfish.
I love dogs in uniform. There's this recipe that my uncle used to make, and then my mum started making it, and then I was like, ooh, and I can't cook, I'm a terrible cook, but I can do these. So it's basically, you get your scallops, you get some double cream, no measurements. It's awesome. You put lemon juice in it and like stir it up, add a bit of dill, I forgot the dill, but add a bit of dill, and then you cover your scallops in that stuff, your cream and your lemon and your dill.
Your jus.
It's not a jus, it's like
your
a
creamy jus.
I'm going to call it, that was gross. And that is not what I put on my scallops.
I'm sorry, I didn't. Just carry on.
I'm gonna. Then you put it in the oven for like 20 minutes at 200. Oh wait, you've put parmesan on the top. Oh,
That just got 100 times better.
it is so good. But so the person whose house I was in didn't have like an oven. It was one of those things that looks like a microwave, but it's a grill, a microwave, and a convection oven.
That is a convection oven. That's what it's called when it's all of the above.
It was an air fryer too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was a Toshiba.
They're living in 2023. No, wait, that's backwards.
2029. That's because we're getting old, you see. We can't keep up. Anyway, so I had my scallops, but I cut the roe off, you know, the little orange bit, and put it out for the squidgels.
Ah.
But they weren't interested, but they did eat an apple.
I can't imagine a squirrel eating a scallop. That's just a weird thing.
Well, it is weird because they live in the trees and the scallops from the sea, but I've lost my track of thought because she's reaching for her coffee cup again.
Sorry.
So, okay, let's pause.
Pause so I can have a slurp. Silence.
You've just spoke at the end of that. You're such a twit. So yeah, we're back. I had my scallops as a little treat, and I watched that documentary that I told you about, The Shark Whisperer.
one.
And I have a massive phobia of sharks brought about by a horrendous experience at Universal Studios, but I'm fascinated by them, so I love shows about them. I'm not going to go into depth about it, but it's about Ocean Ramsey. If you look her up, she's trying to save the sharks, basically. Anyway, we've blabbered on for too long.
I just want to say actually, because
that documentary's good.
you said about the sharks and whatnot, and
Yeah.
we both are fascinated by sharks, but absolutely petrified. But I went paddleboarding with Theo, and I completely forgot because I'd done paddleboarding in rivers and stuff, and ponds and lakes. I went paddleboarding in the sea for the first time.
Well done.
And there were a couple of moments where I was out there on my own, going, there's dark things underneath me. But no, it's really, really good. I only wish I could take my camera on the paddleboard because some of the views from there. I do have an underwater camera somewhere. I'll probably have to fetch it out, but they won't be as good quality pictures.
Could you stick like a GoPro on your head?
Ah, potentially, yeah. Theo's got a GoPro. Yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
but I was telling you about the documentary, but the thing about the documentary is, yes, she's got the perfect name. Perfect name. So I remember seeing a photo of this woman who was in with great whites, and she was right up against them, and she had her hand out a la How to Train a Dragon, right? And she was doing this with great whites and tiger sharks, and I was like, she's obviously crazy. That was Ocean Ramsey, and she understands them. They come over to her, and she just pops her hand on their nose and pushes them down. And some of them they're like little puppies. They come over and they want scritches. It's amazing. You've got to watch it. Everybody has to watch it.
Hence, she is the shark whisperer.
Yes.
There you go.
So anyway,
We have jabbered on. Sorry.
we have, and feedback recently was that the cases are quite dark. I want to say no shit Sherlock. However, my last episode, I tried to make it a little bit more, there was something nice at the end of it.
There was something nice at the end. The blooming middle bit was terrifying, but yeah, there was an underlying story of hope.
Yeah, there was. And so you guys wouldn't have heard it, but when I was recording it with Victoria to begin with, I was very dramatic at some points. Like I was like, if the person was shouting, I was raising my voice, but some of it sounded so corny, I deleted it. But you've promised me something light today.
I have, yeah. Shall I get on it?
So Victoria, what's the crack?
Well, This episode is about a crime that left many red-faced. You might even say it left them feeling a little flushed.
Okay.
In the wee small hours of dawn around 4:50am on Saturday the 14th of September in 2019, 2 stolen vehicles, a VW Golf and an Isuzu pickup, were used to ram through the gates of Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire, an impressive stately home and the birthplace of Sir Winston Churchill.
Oh, is this going to be a jewellery or art heist?
Dun dun dun. No.
Oh.
5 men dressed all in black emerged from the vehicles, but they weren't there to delve into history or for a guided tour. No, they wanted the toilet.
Wait, they clearly didn't just need a pee. How desperate do you have to be? I've got IBS and I wouldn't do that.
I've got a hamster bladder and I probably would do that. Armed with the tools, the men smashed through a window, kicked in a door and forced their way into a gallery. Their aim, more precise than most men, was to pinch a very pretty potty indeed.
Oh.
In fact, they were there for a fully functional 18-karat gold toilet called America.
First problem, who names their toilet? Are we meant to name our toilets? Is this similar to me not washing my front steps twice daily?
You mean you haven't named your toilet?
No. What's yours called?
DeLorean? I don't know, I panicked.
What did you see? And second problem is a gold toilet. And you're like fully gold, not gold plated even.
Fully gold. Like, yeah.
That sounds gaudy.
And this wasn't your typical smash and grab. This was a splash and dash.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. The toilet weighed a whopping 98 kilos. It was plumbed in, like I say, fully functional, which meant when they used a sledgehammer to dislodge it from its royal resting place, they left water pipes gushing, causing flooding, major structural damage to the designated UNESCO World Heritage Site. You could say they left the palace in deep shambles. They rolled the bowl out of the palace and piece by piece the gang loaded the golden lav into the vehicles, and within approximately 5 minutes these slippery little customers headed off with their loot, pulling off one of the highest value gold thefts in UK history.
5 minutes is the quickest I've ever heard a man be in the toilet, let alone stealing the damn thing.
I know. They obviously didn't take a newspaper. Oh, that's days of old. They obviously didn't take their phones in with them.
What are you doing with... You're not selling that off for parts. You're not going to get people down like the market being like, oh, you got a flasher I can have, mate. I don't understand. Why was there a gold toilet? Do these posh people have...
She says about me doing accents, right? And she's done Essex, she's done London.
But mine are good. My what was it I did last time? Oh, Piglet. My Piglet wasn't good. Oh no, it was Winnie the Pooh. Oh, I've got fluff and stuff.
Are you sure that wasn't me that did that? Sometimes it's hard to tell.
No, it was me, and because you said never do Winnie the Pooh again.
All right. Never do Winnie the Pooh again.
Okay.
When the penny finally dropped and the security team caught wind of what was occurring, they gave chase, but it was too late. The gang had already fled, leaving nothing behind but soggy floors and a toilet-shaped hole in British dignity. So what's the story with this blingin' bog, I hear you say? It was sculpted by an Italian artist, so I guess it was an art installation, you could say. The artist's name was Maurizio Catalan, and it was made in 2016. America was created to satirise wealth, excess and consumerism. Some believe in it to be an interpretation of Donald Trump's career.
Ugh.
Created in a Florentine foundry, cast from several parts and welded together. So it looked like a regular toilet, except it shimmered like Midas had done a B&Q run. So shiny.
What would you clean that with? Would you have to use something?
You'd have to
you
use
couldn't put Toilet Duck
stuff,
down it, could
surely.
you? We're not sponsored by Toilet Duck, but we didn't say no.
I caught my friend once. I went into work and I caught my friend throwing bread into the toilet, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm feeding the toilet duck.
Did you just make that up?
No. No. The solid...
Wait, can I just say,
filth.
you know how you talked before, you said about they brought tools with them and everything?
Yeah.
I learned an interesting fact that I think the world might like to hear. Do you know why the crowbar was invented?
No.
Because they were fed up drinking at home? The crowbar for crows.
She murdered that one.
That was a Liam Hampson special.
The solid gold piece was an art exhibition on loan from the Guggenheim Museum in New York.
Oh.
America was designed to resemble the museum's other toilets and was installed in a room on the ground floor for visitors to use.
Oh.
Yeah, with over 100,000 people waiting in line to perch on the golden throne.
Why would you want to steal something people have peed in?
Why would you want to wait in a line with 100,000 people to use the toilet? You'd just go in the men's or in the
Well, you'd go to the normal ceramic
disabled
ones.
or the whatever. I always, New Year's Eve in pubs was always the worst. Like women waiting outside the toilets. Like, I'm just going to go in the men's.
I do that whenever I go. Even if I go to Tesco, and I know you're not meant to do this, but if the ladies are like really busy, I just go at the men's.
Yeah, just you can't wait sometimes.
You can't. And I would just go to a good old Armitage Shanks. Remember them?
People still have them, don't they? They still make toilets, don't they? White goods, porcelain.
Not sponsored by them.
Not sponsored.
But open to the idea.
We don't want the criminal crack to be sponsored by
Crack.
Toilet Wet.
You put your crack on it, don't you?
Oh, she's
You
off
could
on
listen
one.
to it. You could listen to us on it.
She's off on one. So America, this golden toilet, was actually only installed at Blenheim Palace 2 days before the robbery. It'd been there 2 days, so somebody was really quick off the pan on this one.
Well, wait a minute. So if it had only been 2 days in there, chances are they knew that it had only just got put in there. Why didn't they just do it on, like, when it was getting moved? Why didn't they just steal it then? And then it would all be in one piece as well.
Well, maybe more risk. I'll get to the security bit in a minute, and maybe you'll see why. So,
Well, it is more of a risk because those guys were well sleeping on the job.
And despite the toilet being worth around 4.75 million quid.
That makes me feel sick.
The gold alone was valued at 2.8 million, so obviously the art value on top of that. But security was shockingly lax. During the day, one guard stood sentry outside the cubicle door, and I got this image in my head that he maybe offered you a towel and offered you a squirt of CK1
For a fiver.
Yeah, charge you a fiver a go. I remember like one of the women in a nightclub toilet having glow sticks and stuff, and then trying to charge people 10 quid for a glow stick. It's like, you what, love? No, thank you.
But we could afford them back in the day because drinks were not so extortionately priced.
Yeah.
When I worked for Weatherspoons, the cheapest pint was $1.19.
Yeah, wasn't it like 2 quid for a vodka and Red Bull or something like that? Yeah, $2.50 for a double. At night, America was simply locked behind a flimsy wooden door. There was no CCTV, no alarm, no bog standard common sense by all accounts. Security was deemed a non-issue because the toilet had been plumbed in, so it was connected to the water pipes, and they just obviously thought it would be okay, but somebody saw an opportunity. And with the thieves and the toilet now gone, like I say, it was 5 minutes gone, police thought they had nothing to go on. But it soon transpired that CCTV had captured the assailants in the brazen act, but exterior footage only.
Okay.
It wasn't actually, because like I say, there was no CCTV
is
indoors.
useless, isn't it?
But it was a start. The Palace's insurance company, Fine Art Specie Adjusters, or FASA, offered a reward of £100,000 for the return of the solid gold artwork.
They've got a cheek, honestly. Like, I know this is a light-hearted, story. However, we have people starving in this country. They don't have homes, and
They're
I bet
offering
you they throw
100
everything
grand.
at Find a Night who... Well, not even that. The fact that there's a solid gold toilet. Maybe do something better.
Do they offer £100,000 every time a person goes missing?
They don't even bloody look. We know for a fact that they don't even look.
Exactly. So yeah, no, that disgusts me as well.
Sickening.
Theories swirled, and authorities believed early in the investigation that America was broken down and sold for parts. So did your hubby return from the pub with a golden toilet seat or a gilded bullcock? I just wanted to say bullcock. On hearing the news of the theft, the artist Catalan said, "I always liked heist movies, and finally I'm in one." So he took it in. I think that's quite good that he was sort of like.
Well, it's not his anymore, is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He got his money for it. It's actually probably made him more famous, hasn't it? So.
But so hang on. If he's used that amount of gold, somebody's obviously stumped up for him to do. Oh, this makes me sick. I'm glad it got stolen.
Yeah. What's the word when you was it commissioned? Yeah. I wonder. I didn't find that out. I wonder whose idea it was in the first place. I don't know. Don't know.
And it used to be that your banknotes were basically an IOU. That's what the bank, like a £10 note was. So there's this amount of gold sat in a bank. I don't believe that we're using the gold that's actually in the banks anymore. I think a lot of these rich people, I'm not going to go down that route, but so they've taken gold out of a bank. So does that mean my money is disappeared now because they've turned it into a toilet?
Yeah, criminals have it.
I'm going to be quiet now.
Say a lot of my money goes down the toilet anyway.
She's waiting for me to laugh there.
No. So Thames Valley Police launched an extensive investigation, and in the months and years that followed the heist, several arrests were made, but all suspects were bailed while the investigation continued, with several significant lines of inquiry, including DNA and other forensic work, mobile phone and cell tower analysis, and officers spent hours deciphering Romany and Cockney rhyming slang, including encrypted messages about cars, which, spoiler, that was code for gold bars. Eventually, on the 6th of November 2023, the CPS authorised charges against 4 of the men for the theft. The men appeared at Oxford Crown Court in February 2025, and during a trial estimated to last roughly 4 weeks, we learned more about the gang responsible for the Golden Toilet heist, and I'm going to tell you more about them. So, Michael Jones had conducted the recce, even going so far as to buy Palace membership and booking a loo visit. So you've got to admire his cheek.
Well, it's also a bit stupid though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Same as the last
Palace
episode.
membership in his name.
Here's my name, here's my address.
Yeah. Photos were taken of the sculpture, its location, possible entry and exit routes, but get this, he even took a toilet selfie. What a douche. Then there was Fred Doe and Bora Gukuk. I don't know how to say his name, but I like the sound of that. They were both charged with 1 count of conspiracy to convert or transfer criminal property, namely gold, which they denied. But let me tell you now about, and this is the biggie, the so-called mastermind of this jobby.
Jobby? I hate that word.
Sorry.
It's such a Scottish word, so it's usually like this, a jobby. Oh, makes me feel sick.
So his name was James or Jimmy Sheen, and he is a man with a long rap sheet. And I'm going to try and get my head around the timeline because, man, he's been a busy boy.
Was it an Andrex long one?
That's what I had in my head. The
or was
Andrex
it just
puppy just running away? That is his criminal history.
I love dogs.
I love dogs too. So Jimmy, who was already serving a sentence, so get this, he was serving a sentence for a violent shooting. He was out on licence when he orchestrated the bog job.
What is going on in these jails that people don't care if they get sent back?
It's just let me go with this one, because he is... Yeah, he just couldn't keep his hands clean, basically. Him and his associates as part of numerous OCGs. So that's a organised crime group. That's what they call them. That's like the mafia and stuff. That's what I don't know if they call them that in America, but certainly in the UK.
Well, not necessarily the mafia. It's any group. So it could be like gangs and things like that as well. Yeah. Any collection of people that are committing crime together, I think it is.
Yeah.
OCG's, Line of Duty.
Is that a programme?
Are you for real?
What?
You don't know Line of Duty? Where did we find you? I can't even.
I only watched the real stuff, really. And Dexter.
I only watched the real stuff. You're bonkers.
Anyway, they are responsible for more than 5 million quid in criminal profits, with crimes including, so they did like 12 months where they went around blowing up cash machines and robbing them.
Ooh.
They were stealing posh farm kit, including tractors and stuff. There was a heist at Newmarket Racecourse Museum where they stole a load of solid silver and gold trophies.
You've been there.
I have been there. I've been there. So I went
Why
there.
did you go?
I don't know why I went. I think I was trying to go Suffolk, but I went back to my roots. I went Devon. And it's not in Devon, it's in Suffolk. So I went to Newmarket Racecourse when my friend Amanda from school, she was one of my besties at school, she was training to be a jockey.
Oh, wow.
And she scored really highly in her exams and everything, got through everything, got offered a place, but she was homesick and she had stuff going on at home, and so she didn't go. But she was amazing.
Was she little?
Yeah, very petite. Very, very petite.
Oh.
And she's now got a daughter who, when I see pictures on Facebook, I'm I have to check that it's not an old photo because they are the spit
A little
of each other.
doppelganger.
It's Absolutely. Her daughter looks so much like her. It's
Aw.
crazy. But yeah, so they broken into the museum. Anyway, I was going to make it... I'm partial to a pun. I was going to make a joke about the journey from petty crime to potty crime. And, you know, very much intended pun. But honestly, I've read about this guy in the previous crimes, and calling them petty would just be disrespectful to his victims. These men wreaked havoc.
So the fun's over now. All the funny puns.
Fun is no, not quite. There's still going to be some, but
I can't think of any toilet puns.
I think I've fit them pretty much all in. You might have to go back and listen to catch them. So a little backstory about the shooting that I mentioned.
Okay.
So it was in 2009, involving Jimmy and his brother John. Both men from the travelling community had a turbulent history that led to an eruption of violence.
Okay.
It began years before that as well. So in 2006, John Sheen was in a relationship. So this John, is Jimmy's brother, was in a relationship with a woman named Dora. And that same year, both John and Jimmy were sentenced to 5.5 years in prison for conspiracy to steal motor vehicles. So while they were serving time, Dora moved on. And in 2008, she married a man named George Reed. Mm-hmm. But by the end of that year, with the Sheens now out of prison, because they only did a half sentence, John and Dora rekindled their relationship behind George's back and were now embroiled in an adulterous affair.
Okay.
And naturally, this caused some serious tension between the less than savoury characters. And things came to a head on the 1st of December in 2009 when Jimmy and George had a violent run-in at a petrol station and they ended up ramming each other's cars. Then followed heated phone calls and exchanges between the Reeds and the Sheens. And the two families arranged to settle things later that day, mano a mano.
Okay.
Before that meeting, however, the Sheen brothers travelled to Doncaster to acquire firearms and possibly a little muscle.
Oh, no.
Can you spell premeditation?
You're doing a really creepy face.
Was I?
Yeah, you went... I'm scared.
So at around 9:30 that evening, the rival families met, but the confrontation quickly escalated with the Reeds retreating. So I wonder if they're like, oh crap, they're packing. You know, they got guns now. And a high-speed chase ensued. So this was through...
one family chasing the other family, you mean? Not like a police chase?
Yeah. The Reeds were so they fled because I think they hadn't realised there was going to be guns
They thought
involved.
It was hand to hand.
And so they fled at high
somebody
speed
gets killed that's not involved,
with
don't
the
they?
Sheens in pursuit. So this was through Henley Road in Coventry, which was an otherwise quiet residential street. The Sheens were in a Range Rover, the Reeds in an Audi A8, and reportedly doing speeds of between 50 and 90 miles per hour through this residential street. At some point, the Sheens opened fire, and forensics would later glean that at least 7 shots were fired into the Reeds' Audi from distances of just like between just 2 and 10 metres. So that's pretty close at high speed as well. So at some point, a little Toyota Aygo, driven by Cindy Chung, became caught in the crossfire and sandwiched between the two rival vehicles.
Oh my God.
And the Sheens peppered Chung's little car with shotgun pellets, which injured Miss Chung and her passenger, Lee Healy. And honestly, it's just sheer fluke that somebody wasn't killed, and this was a pathetic and pointless...
Why would you do that? You know that vehicle's got nothing to do with it, unless you thought, they've set something up, but it was never meant to end in it.
Honestly, I think it was just the sheer speed and the rage that they were in. That's what it seems like. It just seems like it was all just very quick, and...
Reasoning wasn't involved at all.
No reasoning at all. Luckily, they did both survive, Miss Chung and her passenger. But they both had to undergo surgery to have shrapnel removed, and poor Miss Chung, she has to live with pellets in her face for the rest of her life because their removal poses too great a risk of causing permanent damage or paralysis.
And
so
the
they
PTSD.
Can't even, yeah. Oh. And there was loads of talk from her about nightmares and flashbacks and things like that, and awful, absolutely. And they were literally in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And I bet nothing happened over it.
So the Sheens were both sentenced, actually, for the firearms offences. They were sentenced to 14 years. The Reeds got away with it, which I'm surprised that they didn't get charged for something. The duration of the Sheen sentences were reduced by 20% because they pled guilty 5 weeks before the trial date, and because the men had previous convictions for dishonesty but none for violence, that's why reduction was accepted. However, the judge said firearms illicitly held mean custody. Firearms used at least 7 times mean longer custody. Firearms used in a residential street means yet longer custody. And firearms used in injuring the innocent mean yet longer custody. The Sheens then appealed their sentence, but the appeal was refused. That was in 2011.
That makes me sick.
I know. We know he's going to come out because we know he's done this potty robbery. After serving just part of the sentence in custody, in 2017, Jimmy Sheen was released on licence.
Okay.
And you might know, but on licence release is a system in the UK where prisoners are let out early, but they remain under strict conditions. So these conditions might include regular probation check-ins, curfews, limits on travel, a ban on contacting certain people, and obviously being caught in breach of any of these conditions, you're straight back to jail. Do not pass go, do not collect £200. And I think it's like parole in the USA.
It is. However, we don't have enough people in the police to actually police that. So it's absolute bullshit.
I know, it's like when people are released on bail, who enforces
nobody
the restrictions? Who, I know, it's
nobody. And then the other thing is, oh my god, things keep going out of my head.
She's having a perimenopausal brain fart.
I am, and it was really good. I know it was really good. Wait a minute, hang on, we might have to cut a bit here while I quickly think. Yeah, so there's not the people to actually police these people that are out on parole. And it really bugs me, like, they'll get a certain sentence and then it's like, oh, you had good behaviour. Well, yeah, because I can't get guns in here and shoot people I don't like. So, yeah, it must seem like I've got good behaviour. And that was the other thing I was going to say. You said they had no violence in their past. I'm sorry, but you don't go from no violence to guns.
Yeah.
So
I think it was more they had no violent convictions.
Yeah, they'd never been caught.
So, yeah. And when you see the scale of what he's been up to in the time when he was out on licence, there is no reformation or anything.
I mean, they wouldn't have even been allowed, under probation laws, they wouldn't have been allowed to be together, the two brothers, because you're not allowed to be with criminals.
So Jimmy was caught eventually and recalled to prison in June 2020, and in 2022, he was sentenced to 17 years for his involvement with the OCG. So that was for the tractor thefts, the cash machine robberies, the Newmarket racecourse heist.
But they didn't know yet he'd done the toilets.
I think that he was one of the suspects I spoke about, but nobody had been
arrested.
Nobody had been charged yet. And a little nugget of information about those other OCG related crimes. So after that trial at Oxford Crown Court, a judge ruled that Sheen had personally made upward of £900,000 from those crimes, but was ordered to pay back just £1. So just one shiny British pound.
There's no punishment.
No. Because where's that money gone?
Because these people are money orientated. That's why they do everything. So take the money off them.
Yeah. And at this point as well, I think his brother's out and about. So surely the family would just benefit from all that revenue from crime.
Yep, which you're not allowed. You're not allowed to benefit from criminal activities. Yep.
So back to the main event. How long would James Sheen and his band of toilet tearaways be punished for stealing America? And as I mentioned, so after finally being charged in 2023, the trial began in February 2025. So this is all quite recent, this stuff. The verdicts were as follows. James Sheen pleaded guilty to 1 count each of burglary, conspiracy to transfer criminal property, and transferring criminal property. He was sentenced to 4 years. 4 years was added to his already existing catalogue of... Yeah.
And he doesn't care.
He doesn't. Michael Jones, he was the one that went and did the selfie. He was found guilty by a jury. So James Sheen was in prison already. He'd been recalled by this point. So he pled guilty, expecting a shorter sentence again, which is what he seems to do. He seems to plead guilty to get this reduction. The rest let it go to trial. So Michael Jones, found guilty by trial of 1 count of burglary. He was sentenced to 2 years and 3 months. Fred Doe was found guilty by a jury of 1 count of conspiracy to transfer criminal property, he got a suspended sentence. And Bora Gukuk found not guilty by a jury and acquitted. I know this one wasn't a violent crime, but it's a crime.
We should have the 3 strikes rule, and it doesn't matter what you get caught on.
But also, if they're not willing to return the thing they've stolen or give an explanation as to where it is, but then because those 3 went not guilty, they're not going to cough up.
I honestly don't really care what they got for that crime. It's hearing about all the other stuff in the background that they're doing, and they just don't give a shit.
And the fact that they were let out of prison to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the court heard Sheen had tried to shift the gold just days after the heist, referring to 20 kilograms worth of gold as cars and sending, that's what I said was gold bars, and sending photos of wads of cash with a message reading 520,000 ha ha ha.
But that's okay because he paid back £1, Victoria. You're being really over the top about this.
He left his DNA on the sledgehammer used to dislodge the toilet as well. What a sloppy mistake.
I wanna be
your sledgehammer. Sorry, a little bit of Peter Gabriel there.
Why don't you go? Sorry.
That's all about sex, isn't it, that song?
Yeah, Sledgehammer's his wang, isn't it?
I think so. That's what, yeah, of course he's going to call it a sledgehammer. He's not going to call it like a fork.
If it's a fork, you've got an issue. Like, that's like an octopus growing off him. Half an octopus.
This must be underwater love.
Oh, God.
So there's lots of tidbits of information on this case and all a bit drawn out, but ultimately it seems Thames Valley Police did put together a solid case, and they flushed out the crims. And as if this crime couldn't get any weirder, a recent article on the 17th of June from the ever-reliable Yahoo reported that a shiny gold loo has been returned to Blenheim Palace, this time under close guard. But don't be fooled, folks. It looks more like a knockoff from Temu than a solid gold original, and I think it's a PR stunt. It's definitely not the original. I've looked at the photos.
I don't understand why people would want to go and sit on a top, like... I don't get that.
A toilet that's been shared by so many people. Yeah.
It's like that, was it Tracy Emin? Is that the name of that artist who did the unmade bed?
Oh, yeah.
That's
that
not art.
So
if it is, you could see that all the time in my bedroom.
Well, do you remember the person that stuck the banana?
Yeah.
I did that with Becky's son when I was... because Becky's into art and stuff, and I was looking after Oliver, her youngest, and we sellotaped a banana to her kitchen cabinet, and I sent her a picture of him with his artwork, and then I sent her a picture a few minutes later of him eating his artwork.
Edible artwork. That's where your money's at.
I know. We'll probably never know what happened to this solid gold toilet. Smelted, sold, still out there somewhere, glimmering. I ignore one of her little puns and she just pulls silly faces at
So
me.
you fake laughed at me.
I fake laughed. I think it's out there shimmering in somebody's fancy ensuite, shrouded in a fluffy lilac toilet seat cover. That's what I'd put on it anyway. And have one of those ladies that sits over the toilet roll. You know, like the crinoline lady.
Yeah, but I just can't with all this. I wouldn't... No.
Anyway, one thing
we've got castles, we've got, like, in the UK, we've got so much history, and people want to go and sit on a toilet.
Something I've just thought as well, 2019, weren't we sort of still in the midst of lockdown and COVID and stuff, and they're going into a toilet that's been shared by that many people?
I honestly can't remember when COVID... Was it not 2020 lockdown?
I think,
I can't remember.
I don't know. Anyway, one thing we know is that... Let me get my puns out, would you? One thing we know is that crime almost always leaves a paper trail. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And whilst it is, or has been, hopefully a little bit more light-hearted than usual, I'm still very firm in my opinion that there is no such thing as a victimless crime.
Yep.
And if you break the law, you're probably going to get caught. And if you're planning on stealing a toilet, don't be surprised when things go down the pan.
Oh, gee whiz.
Any more puns?
I have nothing.
Would you like to sit and contemplate for a while?
No.
I did also, because the timeline of all his crimes, Jimmy Sheen's crimes, were quite complicated. Because all the time I'm thinking, but he was in prison. No, he wasn't. He'd been released when he did this next crime and this next crime. And so I have written a little list, like a little breakdown, which I'll put on the comments and stuff in the Facebook pages and things like that.
Sounds good.
But yeah, what a dick.
Yeah. What a douche, yeah.
What a douche.
that was informative. I got really angry. She's just thrown her paperwork away. I just find it makes me quite angry that crime obviously does pay for some people, and our system of incarceration is obviously not working.
When I read that he had to pay back £1, I'm just like...
That's a slap in the face.
I don't understand how...
That it doesn't mean anything. That doesn't make him stop and think, oh, I won't do this again.
But also, why aren't they being forced to pay back? That money could go to policing. It could go to community,
school.
It could be put to good use, which would help people rather than...
And it's not just £1 though, because every single time he goes to jail, he's using taxpayers' money as well. Like, you know, so he's not just stealing. The fact that he keeps doing these things means he's stealing from us every single time.
Well, that breakdown, I think I looked from around 2001 to present day, and those were only the known crimes, you know what I mean? And also I remember, so my dad used to work at a prison, and one of the inmates there was from the travelling community. He got a call from his dad, and his dad's caravan had been robbed.
Oh gosh, okay.
And like his dad was really cross because they'd taken 12 grand cash or something like that. This kid turned around and said to my dad, "It's okay though, they didn't get the gold."
Oh wow, okay.
So it's like, the 12 grand was nothing, apparently. It was just a drop in the ocean. It was nothing.
If anybody has 12 grand they don't mind losing, they can give it to me.
Yeah.
Along with stray cats and dogs. Well, it was really interesting. It's not as light-hearted when you dig, but yeah, the case...
Well, this is what I mean. Nothing ever is. There's no such thing as a victimless crime. There really isn't. Somebody's... And actually, even those... I felt sorry for the security guards because they would have... I'm sure there would have been questions asked of them.
Yeah, but if those security guards had got involved earlier, those guys wouldn't have been against beating them up.
No.
So, and nobody, I'm sorry, but nobody's life is worth trying to stop somebody steal a toilet, let alone anything else.
I'm still surprised they took a VW Golf with them, thinking that would be...
Well,
but they had an Isuzu as well.
No, but aren't they, one of them, there's a TDI or an SXI or something, Golf, or Speedy AF.
I wasn't thinking of the Speed, I was thinking of the axles when they put this weight of toilet in.
What's 98 kilograms in stones? Oh, I'm just trying to work out if it's like the equivalent of a person. So it would just be like having a fourth person.
I suppose.
Maybe that's why they had two cars, so they could all get away and take the toilet.
I assumed that the Isuzu was to ram the gates and force their way in through the gate, but I don't know. So there's a video of it. There's CCTV.
You said there was 5 guys, didn't you? So most cars, it would be a tight squeeze for 5 guys as well.
Burgers.
I was thinking about that. The whole 5 guys things. I thought it was mainly potato related for some reason.
They do good burgers. They do burgers and chips, but actually they're so expensive it's not worth it. Go to Spoons. Get your wings. Sorry, we're completely off on a tangent now.
We are. So, yeah. Have you got anything else today?
Don't think so.
Well, I was just going to add on the end.
I've got a sore throat.
You do. I was just going to add on the end that the mushroom case has come to a verdict and it is guilty. So Erin Patterson has been found guilty, but the sentencing hasn't happened yet.
No, but did you hear what she did? She served her own beef Wellington on a different coloured plate, so she could identify her own and not poison herself accidentally.
Do you know what? If I had been in her position, I would have put it on the other coloured plate and then my brain would have said, but did you do it right? Did you do it right? Anyway.
But you wouldn't have lived to tell the tale.
Well, I wouldn't have eaten anything.
No.
Well, I wouldn't poison anybody anyway. So, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And
next time is going to be, I'm afraid to say, back to gruesome.
Oh, well,
for me, sorry. Gem's next one, I have no clue.
My next case is...
No spoilers.
No, I'm not going to give you a spoiler. I've swapped it for... So the case that I was going to do last time, I switched for the Ellen Halbert case. I'm switching it again. I'm keeping that one in my back pocket. And my next one is going to make people sit in one of 2 camps as to what they think. And that's all I'm really going to say. I don't think it's clean cut.
Okay.
So, thank you for listening. Bye.
Keep on trucking.